welcome. Another episode of CPI Forecast. I'm here with Attila from Laurel Retail, the CEO of Laurel Retail.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. If you don't mind starting, tell us a bit about the company.
So hello, first of all, and thank you for the opportunity for being here. For Laurel, we're a system integrator and a software developer company based in Hungary. We're founded in 1993, so we're up for 31 years now, and kind of in the process of becoming a regional player with the POS and the self-checkout solution and services.
Nice.
In brief.
Excellent. And what's your background in retail? Have you been in this arena for a while, or?
Yeah, I could say that I've been around since the age of 10 because our business is a family business. My father is the founder and is still active as mostly on the strategical side of the business. So I pretty much had a chance looking at the retail and the evolution of retail technology back from like the early 90s till nowadays. As of my active career, I've been in the business for 15 years and been visiting Eurosys since like 2010-ish. So I've been here quite a few times. This is the second year that we're present in our own booth. So it's a huge leap forward for us in terms of our presence.
I was actually going to ask you about that. So you're exhibiting this year.
Yes.
Do you remember where and when? Because I never remember.
It's Hall 10 E47.
Excellent. So very also finally,
Yeah.
Hall 10 is E47. Hall 7.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So just diving into a little bit more about Laurel Retail in terms of the problems you solve, kind of the solutions that you have. Could you dig into that a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much focusing on retail efficiency. So basically the two concepts we're following either allow the retailers to be more efficient or add additional revenue streams to their business. So that's the core focus because basically we're doing all sorts of technologies that are related basically to retail end-to-end, including the checkouts, the self-checkouts, also the back office, the supply chain, and the general automation of processes. So it's a wide range of services that we do. And in our back country, we also do support and maintenance services as outsourced and also for our in-house products.
Oh, nice. Okay, so a wide variety.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot around checkout.
Yeah.
Hence a partnership between Laurel and CPI.
Yeah. We have an ongoing partnership for about 5 years now. And we first launched our self-checkouts at the end of 2019, November. So it's about 4.5 years since we are live. And prior to that, we had about I would say 6 to 9 month development process, and then we had the first pilots going live in 2019 November.
Wow!
And since that we're up to about 700 self-checkouts.
700.
Yeah,
wow. Nice, good growth. And so, what kind of regions does Laurel serve? Maybe a geographic focus?
Well, currently the primary focus is Europe. So I mean we're based in Hungary, and obviously our first references started growing around Hungary. So we have live stores in Slovakia, Czech Republic, Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, Serbia, and one other one in Latvia. So those are the countries where we have live references and currently building a partner network focusing in Europe. But actually we ended up engaging in Middle East and Africa as well as in America. So but the main focus is still Europe.
Right. And what are some of the challenges there, because obviously Europe's quite a fragmented place,
Yes.
Different cultures, different technologies potentially, different currencies.
Yeah.
Any challenges there dealing with different regions?
I think the localization, that you have to have a strong local partner who can represent you and basically find the right ways of partnering. So I think that's the roadmap that we are currently doing. But yeah, other than that, language is not easy. It's not like in America. It's like everyone speaks like in North America, everybody speaks the same language.
Yeah.
So language definitely is a challenge. Currencies, and from the POS and checkout perspective, the localization and the fiscal is also a big challenge. It's not as easy to get into a new country because we have to do the initial localization in the setup. Besides the standard integration to the retailers' applications.
Makes sense.
So that's a bit of a headache.
Yeah.
Has slowed the business down a little bit, but yeah, the day once we're there, good, and it's easier to progress.
Is there a good example of a recent project that you work with? Is it a particular retailer or something that's a good example of how Laurel provide value to its customers?
Yeah, several. Mostly around self-checkouts, which is also, of course, and obviously related to CPI's business. So we've done a lot of projects, and it's been our focus in the past, I would say, 4 years now, and the results are pretty amazing. We're kind of moving into a heavier usage of self-checkout, so kind of scaling up. And then we had pilots, and we kind of measured the utilization rates of the self-checkouts as a success factor for the implementation. We always do a proper sizing. We have different projects in FMCG retail, for instance, which is a fairly challenging operation. We got stores where we managed to increase the utilization of the self-checkouts, therefore the whole return on investment for the checkout zone, reducing that down, even considering Hungarian wages, down to 2 years. And basically that's done by the highest possible utilization for self-checkouts, for which we need the cash management. Obviously, Hungary is very cash driven. I mean, if you look at the entire country, we got about, on average, 50% cash, but on the countryside, it's rather 70%. In the capital, Budapest, it's somewhere around 60, low 60s. For the card usage, so it's about 40% cash. And there are some specific segments of retail like sports or DIY where the cash gets down to 20-30%. But even in those cases, the cash management is required. And one of the great examples is Decathlon Hungary. We started the project with moving them from traditional checkouts to self-checkouts, but with card payment only, back about 2 years ago. And their self-checkout utilization was about 40% roughly, for the pilot stores. And then we came up with the idea of, okay, why don't you guys start using cash management? And we did a pilot period for 2 stores for about 6 months. And initially, we started increasing the utilization basically on a day-by-day basis. And we managed to get up from 40 to 80-85%, and that's the point when we managed to convince them to basically move towards 100% self-checkout. And that was a very big project that we've done.
So the store's completely 100%?
Well, they have, it's 100% self-checkout. They have so-called information checkouts for product returns and special transactions. So usually 1 or 2 is left like that, but it's not used for standard purchases. So basically, we could say that it's 100% self-checkout. The largest store has 18 self-checkouts. The smallest one has 3.
Right.
But all of them have cash management modules from CPI. So we use the BNR and VCR devices, and that allowed them to restructure the human resources from the checkout zone, and basically this allowed them to put people back on the sales floor and doing sports advisory services, as they do help you select the right sports gear. And then basically, I think we saved about 14,000 man hours a year annual, and then the ROI was about 2.5 years for the entire country, and for the largest store it was about 8 months. So very
impressive, very impactful.
Yes.
Detail. So you mentioned there, obviously at first it was a cashless only rollout.
Yes.
What were some of the reasons behind that? Was it purely cost, or?
Yeah, cost and the international standards. I mean, this is how they do it. They have their best practices implemented, but looking and analyzing their sales numbers and looking at the way they utilize the traditional checkouts and calling people back and forth. So like having a look at that as from an analytical point of view, including what their data and the constant testing they've been able to do, we managed to assess that it will make sense to at least give a try to the cash management, and the initial ROI that we did convinced them to pilot it, and the pilot proved to be successful.
Interesting. So initially, if they'd just rolled out cashless self-checkout, the ROI wouldn't have actually realized itself because of the utilization was so low.
Yes, oddly enough, yes, you have to spend like 2 or 3 times more for a cash managed self-checkout, but the ROI is actually significantly higher, and that allows the actual throughput to be channeled for a self-checkout focused operation.
Yeah, makes sense.
And the customer experience is phenomenal. They have the RFID, you throw the items in the basket, pay, and then there you go.
Yeah. Yeah,
So it's really convenient.
it's one of the best versions of a self-checkout. Absolutely.
It's really been a great story.
Yeah, excellent. What are some of the challenges, other than what we talked about, obviously implementing cash, all those things? What are the other challenges that you really face when you're working with a new retailer? They might have an existing POS system. They've got lots of other things going on. What are some of the major challenges there?
I mean, if you're looking at the traditional way of working, I mean, the challenge is still staffing and the scheduling of the staff resources. That's why we see so much space for the self-checkouts in terms of optimizing the labor and the processes. Cash management itself has some challenges, obviously physical cash and the discrepancies in terms of the accounting and all that. So that's basically a core set of challenge that we're working on. And in general challenges, the current economics, at least in Central Eastern Europe, we have a fairly high inflation. The retail, they have their revenues, but if you look at their sales numbers in terms of the number of SKUs sold, it's significantly dropped, and therefore they're trying to optimize as much as they can on the human resources.
Yeah.
So that's why automation in terms of the checkouts, which kind of narrows down in traditional retail to self-checkouts, is fairly important on the regional level. And there's a huge uptake from tier 2 and tier 3 retailers. Currently.
So you're seeing self-checkout now move into these other tiers?
Yeah. The technology has evolved. Now we have solutions combining with your guys and Highstone and other manufacturers, which make it more available to tier 2, tier 3 than ever.
Yeah.
And the wages, of course, reached a certain level that the ROI is on a sensible 2 or 3 year level.
Yeah. Makes sense. So in terms of what differentiates Laurel Retail? Because it is a fairly crowded market space. You make your own POS software as well.
Yes.
You've got all the self-checkout solutions. What is the secret sauce of Laurel Retail? What makes Laurel Retail different to its competitors?
I think it's the focus on the retailer. So we're I would say a small mid-sized organization with 150 people. We know what we're doing. Our people are there. We do have a deep understanding on what the retail operation is. We're not, each and every store that we do for self-checkouts, for instance, they do a proper sizing. We do analyze the transactions. We come up with different scenarios and ROI models that allows the retailer to have the best solution selected in their interest, which is going to give great results. And the implementation methodology that we have alongside it, because it's not enough to get the devices installed on site. You have to have the change management. You have to get the staff to adapt to that and convince them to do that, because it can be a make or break during the process of implementation and the follow-up process as well. So we do have a 6-month aftercare after the installation. So we monitor the transactional data and the success parameters or the criteria of the project. And if something goes sideways, we intervene right away and then contact the customer directly and try to figure out how to resolve those issues. And that's kind of driving the results in a focus area when we're reaching the utilization rates that we set up as an initial goal, which is usually about 70, 80, 90% utilization. So we kind of move into the direction that the self-checkout should be the primary, and then you can have the traditional checkouts as a buffer or a backup, even in traditional supermarkets, depending on the basket sizes and the actual operation of the store. So at the end of the day, the focus is that the people buying at the supermarkets should have a convenient shopping experience and be able to get out of the checkout zone as fast as and as conveniently as possible. Mm-hmm. And basically that's the top priority, which kind of gets us in a strategical direction with our solutions and services that we provide.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that change management piece you talked about, really crucial, and something I think that maybe is often overlooked of how important it is that when you're introducing this new technology is actually training people how to use it and getting that utilized.
Yeah, you have to convince the management of the retailer or on a mid-level who's responsible for the store and as well as the store staff. Because if either one fails, the project won't be successful. And we've seen that. We've seen also the other side of the successful implementations. That's a huge factor on how you implement it. Yeah. And so that you have to sell it to the staff, you have to sell it to to the mid management who's executing the project from the customer side.
Yeah, makes sense. So there's actually been a little bit of negative sentiment sometimes around self-checkout, especially last year. There was, a lot of retail theft, and self-checkout became a little bit of the blame point for a lot of retail shrink. How do you feel about that, and maybe some of the solutions that are coming out to maybe solve some of those problems?
Yeah, I mean, theft is there. The economy is in a bad shape. That's kind of affecting the people, their salaries, the employment rates. So it's also valid for Hungary. In terms of the development, I don't think that, and based on the benchmarks we have, it's not the majority. It's basically the theft itself usually is not happening around the self-checkouts, because most of the installations have cameras and security around it, but rather in the store.
Yeah.
So it's a way of exiting. We actually designed an exit gate for these self-checkouts. We actually came up with our own side that we're piloting. Right now it's kind of an answer, but also from a design perspective, we try to make it as fast and as convenient as possible.
Yeah.
Because we don't like these solutions available on the market, so we decided to do our
Zero. I see.
Yes. And coming back to the theft, I mean, based on the benchmarks we have, it's basically not really the self-checkout zone, but the store itself. Yeah, it can be used as a run-through area. That's why the exit gates could be an option in certain places, but it really depends on a location by location basis. And still, the stores that we're running and the customers that we're talking to, they haven't really reported a larger shrink rates in stores using self-checkouts than other stores not using them. So it's kind of old in there. So the theft as it is, it's there on the whole market. So it's not just the self-checkout stores in general. But I would say it's an issue for retail.
So from your installs, you aren't necessarily seeing an increase of shrink after you've implemented self-checkout?
Yeah, no, definitely not. So it's either the same level, and oddly enough for the theft, in many cases, the store staff is included with sweethearting and doing favors from themselves, doing product returns on voice without customers being there. So we have videos. There are a lot of solutions in the market from loss prevention and security, from the AI and cameras and transactional data, moving to different AI solutions that are able to kind of support and reduce these cases. And we've seen many cases where it's the store staff also being involved. So it's interesting.
Okay, cool. So it's just in terms of Laurel and your main goals for 2024, any new products, any geographic expansion? What's the main?
Well, we're going to go on with the geographic expansion for Europe, but as I said earlier, we actually started having conversations in the Middle East, also in Americas, both North and Latin America, and also in Southeast Asia. So we're going to go on with that, and then I do have the intention to become a larger player on a European level. So we're going to go on that route, definitely.
Nice.
For the product lineup, we have the new exit gates coming up, which is kind of strongly related to the self-checkouts, as well as the new lineup with scales, like traditional self-weight and countertop scales that we're releasing this year. And well, we're going for the autonomous stores as well. So we kind of are investigating for both for the computer vision and also for autonomous stores utilizing traditional technology, traditional self-checkouts, with an access management, obviously, and the remote security service. Then a couple of like that are available in Europe already. So we intend to and then have the intention to come up with a concept like that live in about 3 to 4 months maximum. So that should be coming, and that actually, the nice thing about that allows traditional stores and supermarkets to become basically 24/7 in the near future, without having to invest a significant amount in computer vision and AI. But again, AI is gonna be there. It's a valid concept for small stores and small convenience stores, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be the whole frictionless retail is definitely a trend it's gonna be happening.
Yeah.
But for the mass adaptation, it's gonna take several years to come. And again, cash management should be resolved also in those cases, not just the card payment.
Yeah, completely agree. Okay, cool. So switching over into more macro things, the retail, general retail environment. How do you feel about the market kind of in the short term? We've had a lot of issues last year. Inflation you've already mentioned, shrink we talked about. What are the other challenges for retailers this year, I think?
Yeah, it's the same story. So, well, for this year, we don't. I mean, we've seen a huge pressure, at least in Hungary, for retailers with the inflation last year and the energy prices as a result of the war. Now that's kind of settling, so we don't see that much stress on the market anymore. The inflation is still there. The issue with the human resources, either the lack of resources and kind of the result of the dropping number of sales. So they're still looking to optimize into the staffage for the store and then optimizing the processes as much as possible. People are looking to AI from different perspectives. It's coming in from the checkout part of the equation. It's also opinion on the supply chain and the optimization of the replenishment and forecast engines. So it's kind of coming in from both ways. So for the retailers, I think we do see a larger openness for technologies and kind of into investing into optimizing resources in store. So it's a bit more active than it was last year, actually.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. And how about, because obviously there's a lot of retail tech providers here.
Yeah.
Eurosys, a lot of people doing similar things. What about some of the headwinds or the potential barriers for retail tech providers going into this year? Can you see any there?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Haven't had much time to look around yet, so it's still on my to-do list. I mean, AI is there everywhere.
Yeah.
The question is how you can utilize it and how you can build, business cases which kind of undermine it, and not just on that, but business cases which make these applications usable in real life scenarios.
Yeah.
And when they're going to be usable.
Yeah.
And how these technologies actually can add up and connect. Because what we see is that there are really neat and nice solutions around, just based on the conversation I had with partners yesterday, and how you can combine these to make a successful package as a whole and as a service to the retailer. Yeah, because it's not just usually one. It's familiar to what we do. You guys provide the cash management part to the software, and then hardware comes. The rest of the hardware comes from somewhere else. So it's usually the combination of packages that gets down to the retailers. And the question is how can the biggest value added be provided to the retailers?
Yeah, completely agree. So AI is obviously a big piece. You're getting a lot here. And then any other technologies you've seen recently, maybe here or other areas that you feel could be transformative to retailers, kind of things that you've been impressed by?
Oh, just general stuff. So, computer vision is there. So we do look forward to implement some of the solutions to our checkout, from a loss prevention perspective, product recognition, ultra fresh items like fruit and veg. So that's coming in. Some of the automated loss prevention solutions also on this checkout zone, like the BizScan and some camera-based solutions. So that should be coming into our portfolio. That's what we're looking at right now. And in general, just out of curiosity, we're looking to many different things, and then we see how that builds into our roadmap.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, well, coming to the end here, I just wanted to give you an opportunity. Anything else you wanted to mention about Laurel or the market or any other topics that we might not?
I think it was quite round summary of what we do and how we see the market. So I'd like to thank you for the opportunity.
Perfect. Yeah, it was great. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with the show. Good luck with 2024 and the future.
We should the same. Good luck with the show. Thank you again for the interview.
Thank you.
Yeah.